Hi. In the previous video I showed you where the dollhouse had got up to and some 5 pieces of furniture that I've made up from kits to go in there. So I just thought I'd give you a better look at them so in case you don't know anything about making up kits, furniture kits. Every one of these 5 pieces has been sort of custom made for me. No, I apologise. I'm sorry. No, these 2 pieces haven't. This is Elizabeth's general stock. It's the company called Elf, ELF, like elf, as in fairy, and a lady called Elizabeth that runs the company and makes beautiful kits. They go together wonderfully, and they are modern, but there's all kinds of ways you could adapt them for various things, which I have done in previous projects. So if there's anything you're looking for, go and have a look on her site first and see if there's something there that you could tweak a little, and she'll do that for you. And generally, almost no extra cost, and her things are very cheap in the first place to buy. So it's good value, good stuff. It's nice material, beautifully made. So the first one is a TV unit. The kids' rec room is going to be sort of retro. The idea being that they've had their mum's furniture from her London flat. And they quite like it because it's a bit gimmicky and a bit retro. So it's supposed to look a bit sort of 80s. So this is the first piece, which is a TV unit. And basically, one of the reasons I want to show it you is to show you how simple they are to put together. They are basically separate boxes. You're just making separate boxes and putting shelves in them and gluing them all together and putting a finishing piece in between and a finishing piece on the top. These marks on the back of this one is where I was trying different ways to finish the wood. The bottom row is 1 coat, 2 coat and 3 coats of a clear satin varnish, and the top row is 1 coat, 2 coat, 3 coats of Danish oil, furniture oil. Most people, including Elizabeth, finish this sort of wood if they don't want to stain it or colour it in any way, and they finish it with a liquid furniture wax, anti-wax, and rub that down. I've only ever tried it once and I made a right ham's hock of it, so it's nothing to do with the material, it's to do with the user. But because I then binned it and I don't have any more, I thought I'd try and see what Danish oil did, because I do have some of that. And I'm actually quite happy with that finish. So I did in fact choose the 1 coat idea to finish them in. On the basis if I didn't like the 1 coat when I'd done it, I could always go on and put another one on and put another one on until I got to where I liked. But they are actually finished with just 1 coat. I'll show you the Danish oil. This particular one is Rustin's, but I'm sure there's other makes. It's the stuff that you put on this fairly modern oak furniture and things like that. It goes on unfinished wood to seal it, to give it a finish. So it's pretty easy to get, B&Q, I don't know, large furniture shop, wherever. It can't be that hard to get. And it rubs on with a cloth, or you can brush it on and then you buff it off. I brushed it on because I wanted a lot. I wanted to soak as much as I could into the wood because I'm lazy and I didn't want to have to do 2 or 3 coats if I didn't have to. So I just brushed it on. If I flip to the back again, very well, in fact, if I give you the back of this one, the back of that one in shot, and the front of this one in shot, you'll see there is a difference between the finished wood. Both of these are the same woods, it's just that this one isn't finished, so that's what your unit would look like if you left it in wood. But I think it just looks that bit better if it's got some sort of coating on it, some sort of finish on it. So I thought it was a rather nice finish. The other thing I do, which again is entirely down to you, it's optional, there's no absolute rules on it, is I do what's called knocking off the edges of wood on furniture. I think if they're very sharp and very square and very pointy, they don't look particularly realistic. And all you need to do that, I'm not going to do it because I've finished my piece, but all you need is to get some very, very, very fine sanding implement, and you just literally go at like 45 degrees all the way across them a couple of times and just sort of feel it with your finger and think, yeah, that's not sharp anymore. That's okay, it's got the edges knocked off. And the other thing I choose to do is that I round off the corners as well. Sometimes exaggerated like this because it's 80s and they look like that. Sometimes just a little bit, just to take that pointiness off, that rough cut timber look, because I think furniture when it's been finished doesn't have those sort of edges on it. So there's the TV unit. It'll be smasher when it's absolutely loaded with various gubbins. The TV also came from Elf with the kit, so I didn't have to go around and search for one of those. And I'll try and go quickly through the others and just show them you, because I've done all the talking now. This one is the, how can I get it all in the screen? I can't. This one is the computer unit with a hutch on the top. Another sort of 80s thing that we had around a lot in those days. And as you can see, I've finished it with the same handles, again from Elf. And there's handles, there's knobs, there's wooden knobs, there's metal knobs. You name it, she's got it. So just pick the finish that you want. And again, a really nice surface with this oil, this buffed up oil surface, polished up. I did buff it up incidentally with a rotary tool, not that you need to do that. You can just buff them up by hand. But again, being lazy and I'd water rotary tool, I thought I might as well have a go with it. This is the little IKEA Expedite. If you're an IKEA fan, you know what I'm on about. IKEA do them in every size imaginable, so as many holes as you want. But these next three pieces actually match, literally match, the things in my workroom, which is lovely. I'm recreating my own workroom. So this is an Expedite box with casters on the bottom that genuinely roll. This actually does roll. I'm not just pushing it along, it does roll along. So they're lovely big casters, just like the Expedite unit has. Absolutely cracking. This is the table I'm sitting at and talking to you here. All replicated in 1/12. Thank you very much, Elizabeth. There it is. Another IKEA table. The legs are lovely on these. They're tubular, and she gives you a rod that you put inside the hole here, upwards about this tall. And then you take this tube, put a little tiny bit of super glue on, slide it over the rod, and it makes contact down here. It sticks beautifully. And then these are little eyelets that go in the bottom to finish them off to give it feet, just very much like this. So I'm thrilled to bits with that. I love it. It's my 4-foot corner table that I work on. Real life, it's very useful too. And here's my very cheapo, I don't mean this particularly, I mean my real life cheap computer trolley, which is ideal for this room. This has a tray. It will slide in and out for my keyboard, just like mine does. It has casters, just like mine has. You can probably hear them rattling as I push them around. Again, that is actually moving about on casters properly. There'll be a printer in here and my CPU, my unit in here, keyboard and computer here. This is my desktop computer. It's how I work in this room. The finish on this, it comes in the same wood as the things I've just shown you, but this time I have painted it 4 coats of emulsion. In my particular case, it's just a Valspar white matte. It doesn't matter what it is, a white matte emulsion, a white acrylic paint, whatever it is that you've got. The key to success, she says dusting it, the key to success is the rubbing down in between. Do 1 thin coat, rub it down in between with the very finest thing that you can use. I've lost it again, I use this block that I've shown you a million times. It's a painter's block. It's what painters use to rub down between coats of paint. But whatever you can get that's super, 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 super fine grain, rub down very gently, very lightly, put another coat on, do as many as you like. I'm sure Elizabeth once said that she did as many as 9 coats to get a good finish. I'm not that good. I stopped at 4. 4 will do for me very nicely. And again, buffing it, just rubbing it up with a piece of kitchen roll, a scrumpled up brown paper bag, a scrumpled up piece of A4 paper, anything that's got enough fibres in it, again, to be a really, really, really fine abrasive. And you just keep rubbing and rubbing on your last coat, and you will get a slight sheen. I hope I'm picking that up on camera. just like the surface of this sort of melamine Contiplast stuff. So it's not a gloss, but it's just got that slightly silky finish so that it looks the part. And again, I'm thrilled to bits with that. She's a very clever lady. So check out Elf.